Hello everyone, my name is Vanish46. Welcome back to another video where today we are going to be doing something a little bit different. So as you're watching this, I am currently on a vacation with my family and I am pre-recording a video. I'm not on the vacation yet, that's why I'm pre-recording. So I'm going to be doing a couple of different styled videos over this week on Monday and Thursday, and that will allow me to have all of it ready for you by their deadlines. So let's get started with this video. So you'll notice I'm on a Google Doc. That's because this is something slightly different. I'm not playing Minecraft today, I'm talking about Minecraft. As you can see by the title up here, this is a written document of my idea for a food update. I've also uploaded this to the Minecraft forums, and I'm hoping that a mod developer will see it. So let's get started. So a common thing that I've seen and something that I very much want in Minecraft is salt. And the way I've decided to do it is not that salt is an ore. It's a full block. You have a salt block, but it would act like glowstone. You get a portion of it. So when you break glowstone, you normally get 2 to 3 glowstone dust instead of 4 glowstone dust. So that way it's for balancing reasons you can have a salt block versus salt ore. I feel like that would be much easier to do. I thought that it would be a good idea to mine it with a pickaxe of stone or better, because it's just salt. So I also said they could be found above y equals 42 and below y equals 60, and that way it couldn't be found on the surface, but it's above slime chunk level, and that's very important. And it would be used for making a couple of types of food, such as jerky, gelatin, butter, and caramel. I put and more, but I only went with those 4. So let's get on to the first one. So jerky's a common suggestion I've seen when people mention salt, but it would be crafted only with rotten flesh. It wouldn't be crafted with any other type of meat, just rotten flesh. I didn't put many specifics with it because I didn't want to bore them with the same old jerky, but it would be made with rotten flesh on the top, across the top row, across the bottom row, there would be rotten flesh, and then in the middle, there would be salt. The 3 middle rows would be, or not 3 middle rows, the 3 middle level slots would be salt. So that would make 6 jerky, obviously. And I didn't go too far from there. The next one I thought of was gelatin, and I thought it was a bit interesting how you make it. So you don't want salt blocks to be in contact with slimes, because the way I phrased it was it would dry them out. It would make the slimes a bit more pale green, and it would only work on the smallest slime size that would naturally spawn in a world, so that it would avoid complications of slime splitting coding. So these dried slimes, as I called them, would have a limited jump height, as if they were on honey blocks. So when you killed them, you wouldn't get slime balls. You would get gelatin powder. See, gelatin powder. 4 gelatin powder, crafted with 4 sugar and a water bucket in the fashion of sugar in the 4 corners, so top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right. That would be where the sugar goes. Then you would have the gelatin powder on middle left, middle right, bottom middle, top middle. It's kind of complicated to say. And then in the very middle, you would have a water bucket, and you would get your bucket back. So it's a bit special. So it's only going to restore 2 hunger points, 1 full shank. If you know what a shank is, it's one of those little bars. So it would only restore 1 of those, but it would restore full saturation. And this food is supposed to be an alternative to golden carrots, in the sense of that it would give you full saturation, but it's a bit worse than golden carrots because without villagers, most of the time it's much easier to get other food types apart from golden carrots. This isn't the best food, but I thought it would be an interesting food. Next is butter. Butter is another one I was thinking about, and I thought it would be kind of cool. So it's got a little bit of customization with it. It's crafted with 3 milk buckets along the middle row, 5 salt, all four corners, so top left, top right, bottom middle, not bottom middle, bottom left, bottom right, it would allow you to, and then one in the bottom middle, and a wooden shovel on the top middle as a churner, like a butter churn. So it would give the player 9 butter sticks. And then when you make them into the slab recipe, putting 3 butter sticks along the middle row, the top row, or the bottom row, then you would get 9, when you put 3 of them, you would get 9 butter pads. And then there's only one use for butter so far. Butter pads, at the very least. 6 pieces of bread across the top line, the bottom line, along with 2 pieces of cooked meat, pork, mutton, beef, anything that's not fish. And then a butter pad in the very middle slot, you would get a sandwich. And a sandwich would be non-stackable. And I know that that's kind of contradictory because most people think of giant sandwiches, but this has a specific purpose. So it'll restore 7 shanks of hunger and all saturation. It is the best food in the game. It would be, at least. So, but it's a one-use item because they can't be stacked. So it's a one-use item, completely refills hunger and saturation from non-sprint levels, aka having only 3 shanks left. And then a butter stick, just as a little side note, a butter stick can also be eaten, not a butter pad, a butter stick can restore 1.5 hunger bars, so 1.5 shanks, and no saturation, because it's a really bad food. You wouldn't just eat straight butter. Finally, there's caramel. Caramel has a more convoluted recipe because it gets the furnace involved. Caramel starts as caramel dust. I know that that's not really how it works in real life, but I thought it would be kind of interesting. It starts as caramel dust. You craft 2 sugar together in the way of a pressure plate. So it would be just 2 right next to each other in the 2x2 crafting grid horizontally. That would allow you to make it a little simple way to get caramel dust. Then it kind of splits up. 8 caramel dust can be crafted in the crafting grid. So take a milk bucket in the very middle slot and then surround it completely with caramel dust. That gives you 8 caramel creme. And I put CREME. It would make... Actually, no, it would just give you 1 caramel cream. 2 caramel dust can also be crafted with 2 salt in a crafting table to make salted caramel dust. Then salted caramel dust can be used in the same recipe to get salted caramel creme. Both the salted and the non-salted variants of the caramel cream can be smelted in a furnace to make caramel and salted caramel, respectively. Caramel can be eaten for 2 shanks and 2 saturation shanks, because there are 20 saturation shanks along with 20 hunger shanks. So it does 2 of each, aka 4 points. Then salted caramel restores 3 shanks and 3 saturation shanks, just as a little extra reward for taking the time to craft it with salt. Then one last little thing is truffles. I love chocolate truffles in real life, so this was probably one of my favorite parts to make. So salted caramel and caramel can be surrounded with cocoa beans. Yes, cocoa beans, because there's no chocolate. I didn't want to make chocolate in all of this. So you surround cocoa beans, you surround 1 piece of caramel with 8 cocoa beans, and you get salted caramel and caramel truffles. They restore the same amount of hunger as their caramel counterparts, so caramel truffle, still 4 points, 2 shanks, and salted caramel, 6 points, 3 shanks, but they restore double the saturation of their respective caramels. So instead of restoring only 2 saturation shanks with the caramel truffle, you would restore 4. It's just a more saturated way to get saturation. And I know this was a really short video, but that's all. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I really hope that this is seen by Mojang Studios, or Mojang, however you want to say it. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe. My name is 746, saying goodbye.